I'm waiting for this to catch on because they changed Twitch's interface. Yep. We got music. And our voices. Well, we have voices. Okay. Oh no, we have my voice, not yours.
Painting with Menoth John is presented in Super Legitivision. Super Legitivision, the future of podcasting. It's .com.
Hello, I'm
Menoth John.
and I'd like to welcome you. First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your homes. If this is your first time with us, let me extend a personal invitation for you to drag out your
miniatures
and paint along with us each week. Let's go over to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. Let's build a happy little cloud. Let's build some happy little trees. There are no limits here. You start out by believing here. You can almost paint with anything. All you have to do is practice.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, all you've got to do is practice, and all you got to realize is that practice makes perfect, and perfect meets Wednesday night, and Wednesday night means that we are back and better than ever, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, I am talking about your Wednesday night addiction, and of course, I am talking about the Painting with Menoth John show. You know, you can go other places on the internet, and you will not find this show. But by coming to this place on the internet, you will find this show. And that's the kind of tech support that we're so well known and famous for. Ladies and gentlemen, you see the nodding head in the window up above. You know him. You love him. He's the greatest in the business. Top 10 co-hosts ever in the universe. All 10 of them right there. That is, of course, the mighty right hand of the podcast. You know him. You love him. He's Mr. John Spencer. How are you tonight, John?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm going to take a positive tip, John. We were talking a little bit about this during the always missed pre-ramble that we don't actually record anymore because that's fucking work, and that's not what this show's about anymore.
Yeah, not about work. Right.
No, ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. And so we were talking about the fact, John, that I've been having a complicated life as of late. It's been a complicated life. I'm having some financial drainage, recently for some good reasons and some stupid fucking reasons. And the stupid fucking reason is, of course, because I got to put a new roof on the house because God opened up the sky above Racine for like 3 days, and it showed me that my now 15-year-old roof, which used to be at 10 years old when I bought the house, has developed a leak between the chimney and the roof line, and now I get water in the house. So, time for a new roof. That's $8,000, and then I'm closing on the on a rental property that I'm going to rent and that's cost me. That's hopefully a good investment.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's a good investment. So it's but John, it doesn't alter in the least the fact that it's a lot of stress, and I think that part of it, John, I'm a strong believer in the energy that you put out to the universe is the energy you reap back. And for years and years and years, John, this being the home of the podcast of positivity, trademark, Menoth John Industries, that recently, John, I've been less positive, and I think that it has to do with the coronavirus.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's hard to be positive when you're surrounded by what I always call the existential dread of what the hell's going on in the world.
It really
You
is.
know, I put on a brave face. No one at work can tell that I'm affected by it because I don't let them see it. But deep down inside, it does affect me.
Yeah, and I think that you're a good man for recognizing that and identifying it, because when you have a problem, if you can identify the problem, at least you can say, that's what it is right there. That's the existential dread
Yep.
that's coming knocking on my door. At least now I say, okay, whoa, time out. Let me take a step back on how I'm behaving here, and I can do something more positive. So
Yep.
I found myself in a very rare place where literally wishing death upon others for their irresponsible behaviors around working around how they're handling the coronavirus and how they're deciding to or not deciding to wear a mask. And I guess I need to take, while I'm still not happy that people are deciding not to wear masks and are getting together and doing things that are irresponsible. I guess the tip that I have and that I'm going to take, that I hope other people who are hearing this maybe will take, is what I'm going to say, John, is I'm going to say, I hope that they don't cause anyone with their behaviors. I hope they don't cause anybody else to get sick, and
Yes.
God forbid die. And I honestly hope that they don't get it either, because clearly they're not thinking straight. They're not
Yeah.
listening to the right sources of information.
There's a lot of people who don't have any respect for this. People who are seeing maybe low numbers in their state, maybe
Yeah.
no one near them's been touched,
Yeah.
and they have no respect for it. I'm not going to say who I talked to, but I talked to somebody that is higher up than me, and they have no respect for the virus, and it scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, and
Uh,
it's not a hoax.
They said,
folks.
"I hope I get it and just get it over with." I'm like, you don't.
No,
You do not.
no. This is one you don't want to get.
No.
We like I said, brushheads. We don't have full confirmation because the testing didn't exist when the sickness that grabbed me at the end of January and early February befell me. But boy, it sure has all the telltale signs that it was the COVID.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. We had a conversation at work. We think there's a low chance, maybe we had it. Some people who never ever, like, I haven't been sick in 10 years, and they get crushed and out for a couple days. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, this is a sickness unlike anything that I've ever had in before. By the way, folks that are watching, I see we have 5 watchers. If you could comment on the levels, we've been having some struggles getting the volume levels right because of some rewiring I did on the mixer board. I should know better, John, not to ever touch a wire. But the advantage we have
It
now
wouldn't
is,
be us if we didn't fuck with it.
well, you're not wrong. The advantage is I'm not getting as much echo when I do some other things that I use the computer for. So,
Yeah.
So folks, if you could comment in the chat room to let us know that you're freaking there. Secondly,
Yeah. Say hi.
because we love you and we want to hear from you, and also to let us know that are the levels good? Can you hear the dulcet tones? Can you hear the other dulcet tones? Boom. But I'm going to wish the people who are behaving irresponsibly, not wearing a face mask, not necessarily using the social distancing, and going to the damn bars like goofballs in Wisconsin, that I hope that they don't cause anyone else to get sick, and that I hope that they themselves, if they do get sick, that it is a minor sickness, and that they don't they don't hurt somebody that they love, because
Yeah, absolutely.
so I'm going to try to take a more positive tip on that. And now that we talked about that, John, first I'm going to put the goddamn keyboard away because I'm supposed to do that. That way I
You
got
should do
room to move.
you remind me.
I got to move.
I ordered a
And
new board for my computer. Should be here tomorrow, which is good. I'll talk more about that in a little bit.
outstanding. So we usually do, folks, as you know, as we are wont to do on this fabulous show called the Painting with Menoth John Wednesday Night Extravaganza and Pool Party. We're adding that to it. Now we're going to be a pool party too.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of pool it's going to be. It could be billiards, but it's going to be a pool party.
Because Mr. Crazy Eyes is good at billiards.
Fuck yeah, we got all the angles. You've got you've got all the angles covered. More than
I have
one.
to close an eye to do billiards properly.
So maybe we won't have that kind of pool party. Maybe we'll find a pool somewhere. Pool
I
or
love
pond.
hanging out playing pool. I'm not great at it, but I love it. It's. I make this point a lot. You can't be good at everything.
No.
Just like a wise man once said, man's got no limitations.
Matter of fact, that's true. Folks, we generally after we get out of the pool, the first thing we want is an adult beverage, and that's what we're here to talk about tonight. That was a segue, John. That's a sign of professional podcasting right there.
That was a damn good one,
9
too.
out of 10 podcasts can't pull off a segue like that, and fuck that last one.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is tonight. I'm going to be drinking 2 bottles of whiskey.
It's going to get crazy tonight.
Well, one's a whiskey and one's is whiskey adjacent. So
whiskey adjacent.
Yeah. So the first
is it like
one,
beer they ran through whiskey bottles?
No, we'll get to this. This is we're gonna have a small history lesson on the history of hooch in America. Somehow we lost 2 viewers. We're down to 3. That's fine. We have this is Woodford Reserve, but there's not a lot left. There's more in the other room because not during the COVID am I going to be out of Woodford Reserve. I'm going to tell you that. This is my go-to whiskey, and I've had a shot or 2 already because warm up.
You got it.
And then, but what we are going to have though tonight, right now, is something called Applejack. John, were you aware that Applejack was the most popular distilled spirit in the United States prior to whiskey coming online?
I did not know that. Tell me more, actually.
So whiskey, I found a channel on the YouTubes. I may have talked about it called How to Drink. And
How to Drink.
Yeah, I like
How to Drink. He's a good dude.
Yeah, I like it very, very much. He does geeky drinks and stuff like that. And
he has all the nerd cred.
Oh, he's really cool. Yeah, he did Fenrisian Ale on one of his, and that was fantastic. I thought it was great. But he did one where he made horse medicine was the name of the drink. It was from an episode of Bob's Burgers where they went to a brony convention, a non-IP infringing brony convention, and they were drinking horse medicine, which was this green-colored stuff that they were drinking, and they used Applejack for obvious reasons because of the My Little Pony tie-in, and Applejack being a My Little Pony. And Applejack is made from apples, distilled hard cider. Okay? So it starts off life as hard cider, and then they distill it so that it maintains some of its apple character in the distillation process. And this was very, very popular in the United States until, apples became valuable enough that they didn't want to just, they weren't everywhere anymore. So this kind of fell a little bit out of favor, and whiskey started to take off. Now, it is, I haven't had just a shot of it yet. I was making a drink called the Apple Heart or something like that. It's a shot. It's 2.5 shots of Applejack. By the way, this is an 80 proof distilled spirit, and a 3/4 of a shot of lemon juice, and a 1/2 shot of grenadine. And
that sounds great.
It is fucking delicious. It is the most deadly way to drink 5 shots of Applejack you could ever possibly imagine, because you fill up you put it in a shaker and strain it out. Muy bueno. And it is it's sour. It's on its way to almost be kind of almost a Jolly Rancher-ish flavor to it, like a cherry apple. Oh yeah, Jolly Rancher. So the other thing, when I've also had it on the rocks, and it is delicious on the rocks. It is lighter. It still has, you still know you're drinking fucking alcohol, but it's got a nice lighter flavor to it. It's got a nice aroma. Reminiscent of apples, for sure, on the nose. And that's what I'm having. What are you having, buddy?
Well, I got something else to drink afterwards, but since you're talking about it, I'm going to have a Nice shot of Jim Beam apple to start.
Now I
This is
can tell
my
you,
drink it straight choice right now.
let me tell you, John, it is not as apple forward as Jim Beam apple. I have had that, and it is not.
And Jim Beam apple isn't even the best. I would actually suggest look for Serpent's Bite. Is apple
Serpent's
whiskey
Bite.
that is much better.
Crown. I've had the Crown Royal apple.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's fine.
yeah, it's fine. Snake bite, you say? Okay. Keeping that in
Snake
mind.
bite. It's usually or Serpent's Bite. Serpent's Bite is what it's called.
Serpent's bite. So this
And
is
it's generally pretty cheap. So
okay. Yeehaw! For those of
Yeah.
you on a budget. Whoa! Do you see what the camera did there? Jesus Christ!
yeah.
All right. So on behalf of the John and John show and the fabulous Apple. Hey, Ron.
Ron.
So I got to tell you, with with no ice and just in a shot, it is much more apple forward than it was on the rocks. This is actually
It's on my list.
This
It's
is
on my list
very
now.
delicious. The brand that I have here, which I guess is the most popular brand of Applejack, is Laird's, Lairds. By the way, we are not sponsored by Laird's. However, if they would like to sponsor us, I would be all in on that.
Yeah, no doubt.
So it is a so once again, that is Laird's. They are out of Scobeyville, New Jersey, by the way,
Oh, that's closer to me.
and America's oldest family-run distillery.
Oh, hot damn. I'll have to ask for that by name next time I get a chance to stop at the good liquor store.
Yeah, it's very tasty. I found this at Arby's, just down the street, one block down the street. So, it's a little liquor store that's just across from the McDonald's next to me.
Because you say Arby's, and I'm like,
No,
Arby's is
not the
alcohol.
roast beef.
I'm going with Arby's.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. Actually, you know
Yes.
what? A roast beef whiskey.
I mean, how about just give me a roast beef and I'll have some whiskey
Oh, that's
too?
fine too. Yeah, that's fine. That's a nice compromise when you get right down to it. So, folks, we got a very exciting episode for you today. We are going to get to painting, but I feel like
Maybe.
yeah, we'll get.
Maybe a little.
I'm going to get to painting for sure, because I have made no progress on the hooch hauler except maybe to break him. I think I broke him on the last episode.
Yeah, you did.
So
It's all right.
He's still broken. I've had a complicated life. But we're going to talk about something that I haven't played War Machine since the COVID, and I know it's been longer even for you.
It's been a long, long time.
And I mean there's a lot of reasons why. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why we moved away from the game. But the reason I moved, away from the game here recently is, hey, Pierce's sternum is pierced sternum. Huh. New, by the way, welcome. I don't recognize your name in the chat room. You're. I'm glad you're here. I know John is happy you're here. We
Absolutely.
very much appreciate our viewers. If you have any questions about what the fuck this show is all about and why the hell we're talking about alcohol so much, I'm glad you're here. Welcome back. God damn it. Here's to you, Pierce Sternum. Hey, Ron.
Ron.
Well, one of the things that's it's been a while to for me to play the game is because the COVID.
Yeah.
And sitting across, even a 4x4 leaves you 2 feet shy of social distancing, and I don't think that it necessarily helps you to go to a 4x6 because usually you're still on that 4-foot problem. So and frankly, that game that War Machine came out with to play on a 4x6 with 1,000,000 points or whatever the hell it was, I can't remember what that was called anymore. But
that was called Unbound. I played like
Unbound.
4 or 5 games of that, and it was a hoop, but it turned into a stomp pretty darn quick. Usually,
I played it before they fixed the rules, and it was a 9-hour game, and I was like, man, that's 9 hours of my life I'll never get back.
Yeah, as an old 40K guy, we used to do lots of stuff like all-dayers, but yeah, it was an all-dayer rather than, a 2-hour.
Yep. So, John, what is a way to play War Machine that would not give you the COVID?
Well, back in the past, I would have said Vassal, but ain't no one playing on Vassal anymore.
That's right. Why? Because Vassal is a bag of hammers. It's a bag of hammers with the.
I was happy to watch people play on Vassal. I never once had the urge to play it myself on Vassal.
I am going to tell you that watching it may have been a way to at least alleviate the personal hell that is moving the models and using the tape measure. It was a bad interface that took forever to select your models and put them on the table. And once it did do that, it was, and bless their hearts. I mean, Vassal's been around since Moby Dick was a damn minnow, and the people who took care of getting the models updated on it, it was a labor of love, and
Yeah,
I would and I thank them for it. But
I would happily buy them a beer if we're hanging out together.
oh, absolutely, I'd buy them a couple. But there's a new kid in town, John, and the people who tuned in and saw Wartable.online, they're like, whoa, what are they talking about? Well, that's what we're here to talk about, John. We're going to talk about it, and I'm going to demonstrate it using the magic of the internet. So
the internet.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to switch on and we're going to bring this over to here, and then we're going to bring up Wartable. Okay, so what you're looking at here, and it seems to be catching up here pretty quick. After, okay, the Velociraptor symbol is way huge. Okay, so let me go back. First, you have to negotiate the Velociraptor in the middle of the table. That's the big innovation. So
it's the Velocipaster, and that makes it just so much more deadly.
Oh my God, we can't have that. So let's turn that off.
And then you get the infinite Velocipaster.
Yeah, woo! There we go. Now, all right. So now we should be okay. By the way, now we have infinite OBSs on the screen because that's pretty cool. All right, so Wartable, yay, Wartable. Okay, so you're saying to yourself, this looks like a blank canvas. Well, there's lots of interesting things you can do, John. You can load a map, and there's a bunch of them. You can do a random. You can do a house divided. You can do boarding action, outskirts, the path less traveled. And what they do is they put terrain on the table for you. And it might be basically Broken Egg Games terrain because they're sponsoring this particular item.
No, well, I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, so it's fantastic. So you load the map. Oh, I don't like that one. Let's go to the desert. And it puts different things on there. And you can pick these things up and you can move the terrain around a little bit. Oh, I don't like that. Let's move that terrain around. Oh, that's much better. Oh, look at that. That's very satisfying. Okay, so you can move that around like that. And then you say, oh, I'm done. And now, after you did that, then you can deploy. Now, what's really interesting about this, John, is that you can use Conflict Chamber. Okay? Conflict Chamber, as you remember, is the online alternative to the war rooms.
The war room.
Yeah. So here you see a small list that I developed, 25-point list for the trolls with the Creel Company. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that to the clipboard. Boom, one button. Copy the clipboard. I come back here to the Wartable. I'm going to deploy, and if you see right here, let's see here. I got to get, deploy. All right, so I need my keyboard back again.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so we're going to get my keyboard back here. And I need to make sure that I get all of this delete here. Okay, and then I'm going to copy, I'm going to paste in my list, and I deploy it, and look at that. Here it comes. You're going to see it here on the screen in just a second. But it deploys, it puts all the models out for you. Boom. And yes, they are not fancy 3D sprites. Who cares? This is actually better because it's just the bases with a little bit of artwork on it. Now, I'll grant you, at long distance, it's a little hard to tell which is which, but if you zoom in just a little bit, boom. And you know, the kids, John, what they would do, they'd say, whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. That's what they would do. The kids these days with their rock and roll music and that rap battle nonsense they got going on. I'll tell you what, much like the Wu-Tang Clan, Wartable ain't nothing to fuck with. So then you can, so now I'm going to deploy, right? It's got the deployment lines right here. So I just take my hooch hauler. I want my hooch hauler right there at the 8-inch deployment line. Boom. Or is it 8 or 7? I think it's 8 inches, right? Or is it 7? What do you? I don't remember anymore.
Wrong freezer.
All right, so you at some rules correct way of deploying, you would put that out there. Now I'm gonna grab a mauler. Dire Troll
Well,
model.
actually, I want to point out the fact that it looks like it's measuring distances to all those models from the model you had selected
Oh,
immediately, which
but
is
wait,
really awesome.
but wait, there's more. So here's a rune bear. We're gonna put him over here. We're gonna put old. This is, and you'll notice on the right hand side, the name of the model is
Oh yeah, Fell
is
Color
changing.
Hero.
Yes, Crimson. Yes, 804. I'm a dirty fucking cheater. All right, so, and I put that over here. Now look at that. Look at all the things we have. Horgle the Animal. He ought to have his rune bearer like right over here by him. Now, if you put things on top of each other, you're going to notice that a little X comes up. You're going to see it happen here in just a second. Boom, boom. So no, you can tell that the bases have overlapped. I'm done deploying. I click done. Boom. Now, you're saying to yourself, self, how can I make movement so easy that even Menoth John can handle it? Well, what you do is this. Now watch, this is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm going to have the Hooch Hauler run 10 inches. I don't remember, how many does it go, 16 inches? Speed 8? I don't fucking remember. Anyway, so I'm going to have it run 16 inches. Now notice, I'm going to have it come up, and it draws a little white path, and I'm going to let the stream catch up. There it goes. Oh, look, I'm going to have it run 9 inches in this direction. Then I'm going to stop, and then I can either accept that as being where I want it, or I can scroll the little thing here a little bit. I click and keep on dragging it. Oh, shit, it's measuring now from the next place that I think. So I can do, like, super cool curves and little following the terrains and doing all this fun shit. And then when I'm absolutely finished, I go ahead and I click the plus. Boom. The movement's done. John, they fixed Vassal.
Yeah, that's movement is super cool. Plus, since you're moving the model as you go, you can make sure you're avoiding all of the things in your way.
And you're doing an accurate job of measuring, probably more accurate than you could do in the actual game, of moving around obstacles and stuff. Unbelievable. This I'm John, I'm so beside myself. There's two of me. And boom. and you know, you can you're zooming in, you're zooming out, you're using your scroll wheels. You've got little buttons here to click to get those damages on there. And I
see the damage grid right there. That's great.
Yeah, and you can put souls on things if they have soul taking. You can have some you can put fury. You know, if you put souls on one of those Crucible Guard models, you could say it's a soul train. You know, with the ones that are the ones that look like trains. That was a joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are the jokes, John. If we don't, we have to. These are the jokes. There we go. Now we're cooking. I don't know what even these buttons do down here. So now I think this is a dice thing. So if I want to roll 2d6, boom, 2d6.
2d6, 2d6, 3d6, 4. Yep, I see it.
Yep. And it says right here, 6. I rolled a 6 and a 6.
Oh, 12!
Boxcar bitches, right there. Unfortunately, but that's, now it's a roller both of us can see, and boom, you got that, and everybody can see what everybody's doing, so there's no hanky panky, and it's fantastic. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can allocate focus, you can put. I'm going to put 8 fury on whatever I just did. And you can see down here, I put 9 fury on this guy, and you can see there's a little 9 right there. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. Boom. And it tells you on the little marker, you can see, like on this Dire Troll Blitzer, he's got 30 health left, and he's got 9 fury on him. Now, some of this is legal, and some of it's not quite as legal, but there you go. I'm telling you, John, this is, I think, the best thing that's happened to War Machine since I stopped playing. But this is utterly amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am honestly looking forward to playing a game of this.
So it's funny that, you look at this, not this past week, the week before, I actually played our weekly role-playing game on Roll20.
How'd that work out for you?
It was interesting. It was pretty good once we got into it. They tell me that the audio with it isn't great, so we did audio on Discord and then played on that, which was a little weird but cool once you set everything up.
Yep.
Relatively intuitive. It was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Now you can add
It's got the die roller and everything, so you can die. And if you've got your character sheet in there and it's set up right, you can be like, I'm going to roll athletics. Click a button, boom, athletics roll, everything in there.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you can do widgets on here too. So if you want to do a spray template, you can take your.
How long is the spray template?
It's 8.04 inches.
No, it's 10 point.
No, whatever. And so as you can see, it pivots really super nice. It's got this little thing here on the edge. Now I didn't know how to do that. Glorp, it's only in your left ear because it's a mono mic that I have here, and because I use a professional mixer, it's just a mono thing. So I apologize. It's just I don't know how to fix it. It's always going to be that way. But you will enjoy the fact that John is in both ears. So if you think about it, you've got 2 Johns in one ear and 1 John in one ear. That's 3 Johns, and that's more than most people get.
That's John cubed, and that's even better than we have at work because my boss name's John, and we're only John squared.
Yeah. So see how much fun this is. You can move this around. You can get rid of it. I think somehow. I can throw it over here to the side. Boom. Remove. Click. Boom. There it goes. You've got.
Well, you also can just throw it over to the side. That works as well.
Yeah, I mean that was an old vassal trick, throwing shit off the table. But this is I said, well, there you go, Glorp. Now you're thinking now you're playing with power. Now you're playing with power.
That'll stop the confusion. I don't notice he's only in one ear because I don't have headphones on, so I've got 2 speakers, and I very rarely notice that he's only in one ear.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing you have to keep in mind is that while Painting with Men Off John is broadcast in stereo, you only need the left channel because you still get both Johns.
We're actually not in stereo, John. We're in super legitivision.
Super legitivision it's the future of broadcasting now, isn't it?
It's .com.
It's .com. So Team Menoth John would like to give a hearty thumbs up to my initial experiences with Wartable. I heard about this from Dowdark and the Advanced Maneuvers guys. They had put a link to it. I'm over the moon. This is amazing. Now, guys, there is an important button that you do need to pay attention down here, and that's the Support Wartable button. Because what that's going to do is that's going to send you to their Patreon. Guys, I really feel like if you decide to use Wartable on any kind of a consistent basis, toss them a bone. Give them a couple of bucks. Whatever.
$2 a month. I mean, come on. That's not bad at all for a free thing like this. I mean, I love support it. And if you can't support it, it's okay. When things get better, maybe you can support it then. Throw them some bones then.
Yeah. So, I mean, folks, if you're listening to this and you would like to, if you'd like to play a game on Wartable, I can't guarantee that I'll get all the games in, but if you leave a comment on the YouTubes, where this will be uploaded afterwards, this will be over at the Painting with Menoth John YouTube channel. Please put a comment in there, hey, I want to play, and we'll get a little PM action going, and we'll figure out a time we can play. And I think that would be super sweet and totally legit. So that's the Wartable, John.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, and we'll figure out.
And it came at the right time. I mean, with COVID apocalypse going on, it's a good time.
Yeah, it really is. And so it looks like it's gonna be super great. And there we go. They'll sell you both channels, but you only need the left. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
No. So, all right. So we're gonna put the keyboard away. I'm gonna take my glasses off so I can paint because I've got old man eyes.
Yeah. My boss, who is older than you, is even like, "Oh, John, your young eyes." I'm like, "Oh, you said my young eyes. Yeah. My eyes ain't ever been anything but fucked up."
All right, so I'm very excited. I was talking to Beer Machine Rich about this earlier today, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be something we can rally against. By the way, we will never do Power Couple deathmatch ever again, but if we were to do it, that would be the platform of choice.
Fair enough. Well, my current addiction is actually a computer game. I'm sure everyone's heard a little bit. I've been playing an absolute shit ton of MechWarrior.online.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, this is where the painting podcast will now transition into a full-fledged video game podcast. So welcome to video gaming with not Menoth John Spencer.
Well, it's not going to be too much, but I am enjoying the crap out of it. It's free. Um, it's just a good time. The community's pretty solid. Like I very rarely have heard anyone yell at anyone, and usually if they're yelling, it's because you just shot them in the back a couple times and they're pissed. Maybe you were standing behind them and you spun up your rotary autocannons into their back because you thought they were an enemy because they were standing right in front of an enemy. Maybe that happened.
It could have happened. It sounds like it did happen.
Maybe you're very chagrined about the whole thing afterwards. Maybe you quietly slunk your marauder away because you didn't want to be caught at the scene of the crime.
Oh, you know what? God damn it, John. I don't have a blue towel to wipe my brush on, so I'm going to take two seconds, and I'm going to go over and get a blue towel while you vamp briefly.
Oh, absolutely. I'll talk about MechWarrior Online a little more. Been enjoying it. My roomie Banyan, who's occasionally on the show, plays it as well. Our buddy Immortan Joe, who occasionally a fan of the show, comes in, and then Gonzo, my co-host on my other podcast, play. And we get multiple of us together. You can group up and come in together, and it's super fun. It's just, if you like the BattleTech universe, it's just a hoot. And it is, like I say, the price is right. It's a free online game. It'll take you a while to download, but other than that, you can spend money and support them if you want to. You don't need to. They generally make it worth your while if you do spend the actual real monies, but otherwise you can get most of the in-game. It'll take you a little while, a little grinding like most of those free games are, but, I've been having a hoot. I've had very, very few games that were just so terrible I never talk about them again. And usually it's just because shit happens. I mean, any game like that's going to happen.
Absolutely.
And it's just a hoot. Like I said, you get a couple of us together, we're on Discord chatting, and then we pop in. They have a chat with the guys. Sometimes you get a group that's like super communicative, and it is the best, John. I can tell you, there's nothing like playing video games online with guys who are just interested in teaming up and doing a good job.
Is it?
And they're calling out targets, and they're like, "Hey, no, back off! Don't do it. We're winning. Don't bother." And you hear that in your ear, and you're like, "Oh, it's good." It's not always good. Sometimes you got to trust your gut. I had one team tell me, "Oh no, back up to the next line of dunes," and I'm like, "I don't like, don't do it." And so I back up the next line of dunes, and I die before I get there because I had to cross over a dune, and it was no bueno because I was in a Fafnir, and a Fafnir is giant and slow.
You know, it's interesting that in Crossout there's a gun called a Fafnir.
This mech, actually, I'm enjoying the mech so much I have made it my background on my phone.
Nice.
It's just this giant stompy thing with the two biggest guns in the game, the one I'm playing with. And as I joke with people, I have two speeds, forward and dead.
Yeah, you would get a kick out of Crossout, buddy.
Yeah, I probably would, but I only got the mental capacity for the one right now.
Of course, buddy. Of course.
I don't know if you saw, I got a new mouse. I bought a new mouse to play it too.
Oh, fantastic, John.
It's got 12 buttons on the side. And I was like, oh, you could never really use it. You can use all those buttons. I never thought you really could, but you can. It's programmable. You go like, I'm going to do this. It's a little hard to use the second set of 6. The first set of 6 is pretty easy to use.
Okay.
The second set is a little harder because you got to move your thumb back a row.
Makes sense.
But they're sort of weighted, so like rock forward at the position is one button, and then rock back is the other button.
Okay.
So, but I'm enjoying the crap out of it. Playing with my buddies, Immortan Joe and Banyan, and then Gonzo's playing a little bit. It's just a hoot. No one, like I said, no one yells at each other. There's sometimes you run into a board that's just all missiles, and you're like, oh god, I'm going to die, and then you die, and you leave, and then you load another mech out until that one's done in game, and then you have some fun from there.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. I currently have MechWarrior Online. MechWarrior Online is in my Steam. I just don't have it currently installed. I'm going to reinstall it. Now, is that game? Are you using Discord for your chat, or are you, or is it built-in audio in the game?
There is built-in audio in the game, push to talk. But when we play together and we team up, we Discord up just so we can have our own channel too.
Okay. Well, I'd sure like to play with you guys if you're interested in having another.
Always, man. The game is fun, and when you have there are levels there. I have maybe 1 in 4 games is just terrible because of me usually. Maybe 1 in 5 is just like, oh my god. Then after that, the other another quarter is like, oh, I did pretty good, but the other team outplayed us is good. Then next one, that was a great game. We may not have won, and then the last quarter is like, holy crap, that was the best game ever.
Well, I certainly look
So
forward to giving it a shot, John. I will definitely give her one hell of a try.
yeah, there's so you'll have to play 25 games, the cadet games, before you can use the in-game audio,
Makes sense.
just to keep. Yeah, like everyone's like, oh, it's a bad thing. Like, no, no, no,
No,
it totally makes sense.
nope. Keep the idiots at bay, and make sure that the
Yeah,
people who
keep the
are
idiots at bay.
using it are actually are somewhat dedicated to the game at that point.
Yeah, because and it keeps you can't just like pop into a game and then pop out immediately and reload. It stops you from doing anything that quick. It has some UI in there, some intelligence there to keep you from doing basically the shenanigan bullshit and or powering through 25 games. Um, but I mean, like I said, I'm having a hoot. I've spent a little bit of money on it, giving them some coins since they're producing a good content, and I am spending a lot of time on it. Like John, I tell you, earlier this week we got done playing. It was like a reasonable hour. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed. I shut everything off just about. And I'm like, oh wait, I need to do that one thing. So I go and do that one thing, and next thing you know, it's 4 hours later. Not quite 4 hours, but several hours later, and I'm still in the mech editor, fooling around with things, having a great time doing that.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds really fun, John. I'm gonna definitely
Yeah,
gonna give her a hell of a shot.
yeah, it's good fun. I am enjoying it, and free is the price, guys.
Yeah, I know. I know. Rich has been looking for a different game other than Crossout, and this might just be the one that kind of fits the bill. Especially when there's like
Yeah,
you guys are already playing, so there's like a built-in already like
yeah,
mini community.
yeah, and the community overall is pretty good. If you're new, they're generally pretty helpful. You'll get occasional groups that are not talkers, and they're going to go do their own thing, and it's fine. You're probably going to lose that game. Just do what you can.
Yep. You know,
And sometimes you walk your Fafnir through the valley of death, and you make everyone regret the life decision that was stepping in front of you.
you know, there's with Crossout, it's very much the same. You know, when we get two or three of us in there, just because you have the ability to use to talk and to use actual honest to god strategy, it makes a huge difference.
It does. Like every team where like there are sometimes we have a team where we're doing good strategy and we lose because, hey guys, I'm here to tell you, you can do nothing wrong and lose. Sometimes other teams just better or had better RNG
Yeah.
or just had better tactics. We're not the best at everything. It's
As
okay.
every now and again, like when we're playing Crossout, which is my usual poison of choice,
Yeah.
it's like, well, you know what, I ain't even bad. That was good. They they
Yeah.
they rung our bells.
Yeah. Sometimes you're like, oh man, they did the right thing. They you know, and it's 12 on 12 mechs. And I've had, games that are as lopsided as 12-3 that I was like, I felt like that was a good game. It just didn't turn our way.
Yeah.
And I've had some absolute, like, I've had some ones where my team, pulled it up pretty close and it was still a shit show for me or a shit show for half of us. You get that sometimes. And certain times of the day, you'll get more certain things. Like, the joke is missiles. Like,
Mm-hmm.
long range missiles, someone gets a lock on you and there's missiles everywhere. There are ways to deal with it, but they're hard, and new players don't know them inherently. So,
Yep.
but there's a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of YouTube channels. If I would suggest only one, and that is Baradul. He is German. He is awesome. He's karmically aligned with us because he tries to keep things positive. He understands when he gets triggered, and he apologizes for it every time, which is more than anyone needs to do because you get triggered by stuff in games. Sometimes you're playing, you're having a good time.
Yep.
Something triggers you because maybe someone just stepped in front of you at the worst time. I tell you, John, playing the Fafnir, I loaded up my heavy Gauss and I let go of the trigger, and someone stepped in front of him. I'm like, oh god, don't hit them, don't hit them, because I'm gonna kill that guy through the back. I will core anything under a heavy.
And it's and basically there is friendly fire. I take it.
Oh, yes, friendly fire isn't.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
I
Oh,
had
that's
one
good.
where someone on my team wandered into my artillery strike and died.
Whoa.
I was like, oh god damn it, why did you? There's the red smoke. Did you not see the red smoke?
Because there was red smoke.
Because there was red smoke. But that was early in my career. I was not very good. That I really feel like it's a game that if you just play your games, as long as you try and learn something from it, you'll come out and every game you get better. Gonzo's like just through his 25 games or so. He's probably just under 30 or around 30, and he's like feeling like he's starting to get it. It takes a little time, but it starts to roll. And then you always remember that first game when you get like I'm sure you didn't cross that first game when you get the good stats. You're like, oh, I did great that game.
Yep. And then there are those magic sessions where you get 7 okay, so there's eight people on a side, and and I one time I got 7 kills. I got 7 out of the 8 people died at my hand. Hey, Telkazar, good to see you, buddy.
That's awesome. I had a game where I got 11 assists. I didn't kill anyone, but I touched 11 people
In a
and
naughty
threw some
way.
damage their way.
Yep, nice. All right.
I like it. There's a lot of stuff, and they've changed the game to be. You even get some points for taking damage. You get some effect. It affects your rating. Like you took a ton of damage. Sometimes that's what you need to do for the team.
Yep.
I just like that it's a team game, and the people seem to be pretty. I would say on the average, open to being a team.
Cool.
You'll get guys who run off on their own and get killed. It's okay. It happens.
Yep.
You don't get too serious about it. It's not like there's no money on the line or anything. It's just a good time, guys.
Yeah, that's the best thing to remember.
Yeah, you can tell by talking. I'm enthused about it. I've been enjoying it. I have a 4-day weekend, and it's going to be a hell of a weekend.
Good. That's great, man. You know what? It's important to have fun things that you can do, especially when you're on lockdown.
Well, Legionnaires, I'm told it is very similar to World of Tanks. I never played World of Tanks, but I'm told that's all on that same sort of you don't have to pay, but you can pay dynamic.
Yeah, I think World of Tanks, Crossout, War Thunder, they're
World
all
of Warships.
yeah, they're all in a very similar place.
And there'll have to be something you like. If you like cars, supercars, Mad Maxy, you go with Crossout, right?
Yep.
If you like BattleTech, you'll go with MechWarrior. If you like World War II-ish tanks and all, you go with World of Tanks. You like battleships in the Pacific Ocean, World War II Pacific Theater, you go with World of Warships. There's probably a game for you.
Yep, it's a wonderful time to be alive.
Yeah, I mean, just think if this had happened when we were younger, John, in the late 80s, early 90s, we would have been crushed. I would have read all the books and been like, I need more books.
Yeah.
Can I have all the books?
Nope, it's at least we got the interwebs. And that's not a terrible thing.
Yep, and if any of you guys listening, whether it be YouTube, whatever, you want to play, just find me online. I am cunningly disguised as John O. Spencer, like I am everywhere, all one word. And I will accept every friend request. And you want to make a team, you just message me. I'll make a team. We'll play. I'll give you whatever tips I can. I spent 2 hours, giving Gonzo a bunch of tips yesterday or Monday. What day is it? It's Wednesday. Monday. I don't remember.
Is he working or is he doing virtual school or anything like that?
He did some virtual school. He's mostly off right now.
Okay.
I think his school's technically closed after Memorial Day.
Gotcha.
So, but he, it's got to be tough on him. He got called in just to give some shout outs to the teachers out there because he's a teacher. He got called in on a Sunday at like 4:00. Like, hey, you have to make lessons plans because we're not bringing the kids back in. At least for a while. So he immediately had to drop everything, cancel the podcast that night and take care of it. And the teachers did that, and they did it happily because they love teaching their kids. I mean, and they did it without, anyone telling them how to do it. There's like, we don't know what to do, just do it. And they did. And they're fucking superstars for it.
Yep. Some heroes out there. You don't necessarily have to carry a gun to be a hero.
In fact, I would say more heroes than not don't carry a gun.
That is correct.
And soldiers are soldiers, and they do a good job protecting our country. I would never disparage, a serviceman or a police officer for the most part or anything. But there's a lot of people who are doing, in this time, harder things.
Yep.
Healthcare workers, all those people who are legitimately essential. I mean, hell, the people at the Walmart, for fuck's sake. I mean, come on, those guys, there's a million people coming by them.
Yeah.
And they're just there doing their job. And some of them are really proud of it. And that makes me feel good. Like there's hope for humanity because they're proud that they're keeping the country going.
Yep. Between
those stores open and like Amazon and anyone else online who's got their guys in the warehouse shipping stuff out, we would collapse without ability to get all that stuff.
Yep. And I just sincerely hope that some of these programs that have been set up to help smaller businesses can kind of be managed a little bit better. And can really get the money to who needs it rather than who maybe has got a cunning banker that knows how to get in line in just the right way to
Yeah.
ensure that their client's going to get it when mom and
And
pop shop doesn't necessarily have all those same resources.
and hats off to the giant companies that realized that they had a ton of profits and they didn't need a handout from the government and then declined it. And I
Yeah.
know they only declined it because it was going to be a public relations catastrophe, but that still means that they're like, we value our customers, and you guys coming to us more than we value money
Yeah. I hope
because
you're
you
right.
guys are their future. Remember that.
Yeah, I hope you're right, buddy.
Positive, man, positive.
Yep. No, I say that's why I hope you're right.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm putting some
So
bronze on the
there
back
you go.
here.
There's the ramble on online and everything. You're doing. I really like that color.
Yeah, I'm fond of this one. This is the molten
You're gonna brown
bronze.
wash that because that's gonna look
What am I gonna do?
shit hot. Are you gonna brown wash it?
We're gonna put we're gonna do the same thing I usually do to my gold colors, which is I put a seraphim sepia, not seraphim sepia, a Reichland flesh shade on it, which pulls it a little bit even redder and brown.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Oh yeah.
and then what I'll come back is I'll highlight it with golds, like strong, shiny golds, and it'll pop like a son of a gun. And
Oh yeah. It sounds like it's gonna look awesome. I mean,
yeah, it's gonna look
metallics take a wash in a lot of cases so well, and then a little tiny highlight on them. Oh,
good. Yep.
next level.
And then what I'm going to try to do here is and I kind of made a bit of a mistake and I'm not going to try to fix it 100%. I'm going to take and get some silver down into the center section, because what this is essentially is it's a copper heat exchanger coil wrapped around the center shaft that's dispensing the beer in the back here. And I want this to be all like 3A dairy kind of stainless steely looking stuff. And then this is going to be like a copper heat exchanger coil. So I'm going to come back here with a very thin brush, and I'm going to pick out the center portions stainless steel. Now you're saying to yourself, John, why the fuck then did you go paint the outside of this? Well, I was on a roll, John. I was on a roll.
Sometimes you're on a roll.
And
it's easier to put the color in and then do a touch up afterwards sometimes than to stop what you're doing, fuck around with it, and then come back later and fix it back. Just go.
Yep. So like now I got this. I wouldn't paint this part just yet, but this is I got the molten bronze out, and it'd be a shame to waste that paint. So we're just gonna go ahead and get after it up here on the top, and then I'll do these lamps while I'm at it too.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's looking good, John. And John, did you know?
I don't know, John. Did I know?
I only have 3 models that I own for Marvel Crisis Protocol to finish, and I'm 100% painted.
Woohoo, buddy! That's amazing.
And one of them is the Hulk, who I could do very little to and call him done because he's already right about here.
Yeah, you're kicking ass right there, buddy. Are you gonna put like a green wash on him, or how are you gonna handle the muscle?
I think I really want to try and get a one of the Citadel green contrast paints.
Yep.
To see how that looks. I tried 2 different washes because I have Vallejo model wash for green vehicles. It was a little dark. If I wasn't going for a comic booky feel, I might have tried it. And then I have Thraka green, which is the old GW green wash, and it didn't do enough.
I got it. I feel you.
So I want to find something else, try some other things. And I don't need the Hulk painted anytime soon. And that's not going to get a game anytime soon. I actually have a proxy model, which is my thing I showed off many times.
This might be what you're looking for. This is the contrast warp lightning.
Oh yeah, that's probably what I'm looking for.
It's right here. I'll put it up here to the camera, the John camera. I think that might be what you're looking for there.
Yep, let me just take a note there. I haven't had a chance to look at the green ones, but I will take a look at that because I think it is what I'm looking for.
It's a little bit on the darker side, which is nice.
Perfect, because I'll dry brush afterwards. Good Lord, it'll help with those muscles. And then I'm working on Vision. If you guys work on Vision, let me give you some advice. Fucking don't put the cape on.
Oh yeah, I can
paint it fucking separate. Holy moly, I cannot fucking enough.
Yeah, I hear you.
And then the last one, I just primed Star-Lord. Now, there's plenty of other guys I can buy, but I mean, how many do I need to have right now?
Right now? Not so many. Right now, not so many.
And I've got 13 painted because I got Winter Soldier here fully painted. He's relatively easy. He came out pretty well.
Oh, that looks great. That looks great, man.
Yeah, so I'm having a good time. John, I even have some Battletech models here I've been painting. It's been a good time.
You've been keeping
Uh,
yourself busy, homie.
yeah, I'm waiting for a good day. I got a couple models waiting. Need some yellow dry brush, but it's always the weather's been so weird. When I have the time to do it, because I want to sit down and do both of them at once and have no pressure time wise to do them. But every day it's been like that. It's been so hot, I wouldn't even dream of dry brushing.
Yeah.
Because apparently Mother Nature's like, oh, you got the COVID. Here's some fucked up weather to go with COVID. Merry
Woohoo!
Christmas.
Yay! Fucked up weather.
Yeah, and then let me show off this real quick. Gonzo printed me this. It's like a giant sci-fi dwarf.
Oh. Oh wow! I love the skin on him. The skin and hair color combination is amazing.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to doing more work on him. He's pretty cool. I need to find a base for him or something too. But he's a lot of little stuff I'm working on here. I've been painting up a store.
Well, I'm going to keep on painting here with this guy until I get these two little lamps done, and then we'll move over to the media section. What do you think, boss?
Sounds good. And in case you're wondering why we haven't gone to Flippity Boops, we didn't actually get any Flippity Bloops, which is okay.
It's fine.
If you guys have any in the chat room real quick, hit us up. The only comments we got were it's Wartable.online because you had mentioned something else.
Oh, sorry.
And then, yeah.
It's .com though for sure, because it may be Table online. It is certainly .com.
It's .com.
It's .com. Yeah, exactly. That.
Yeah, Talgzar says he's painting his guild bar to get to 100% of a team, which is perfect, awesome. This is a great time to get your hobby on, and our sister podcast, More Than Dice, had a whole podcast on staying motivated. I don't know why they asked me. My motivation is hobby streak.
Yep.
That's how I keep motivated. It's hard, but do your best to keep motivated and get going. It's a good time to get some stuff painted, or a good time to just get into something, get something to take your mind off of it. Read some comics, read a book, watch some TV, get some movies on, get something you haven't done in a while, or what you do normally. Try and get what you do normally to try and take your mind off the fact that it's not normal times.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I know that exercise maybe isn't everybody's tip, but that treadmill is sitting over there is the best thing that's ever happened to me, and it is such a stress reliever for me to get on there and just go.
I kind of wish I'm a little heavier than I want to be, but when Talgzar asked how the glasses that I showed off in the last show, just for everyone who don't remember, I got these boyos.
Yeah.
They even have
how you still loving them?
They have a light. Oh yeah, good lord, John, I cannot. When I get the fine detail, I have a hard time painting without them. It's crazy because once you pick up a model and you're looking at it with this is only even times 2. They have a whole big set of these. Drop the light here. Nope, turn it off. There you go. You can see so much more detail. You can get your brush into the spots where you're just sort of fumbling around. I absolutely love them. They're great. I even love the fact that they're rechargeable. The light's rechargeable. It's not battery operated or any bullshit like that.
That's nice.
Apparently, it even moves a little bit. I hadn't moved it yet. This part moves.
Fantastic.
It's a really good purchase, and as we all get a little older or want to get a little more in, it helps. And this is one time where my crazy eyes help me because literally I'll look and like one eye I'll like look down. I can look past the magnifier and see my palette to get the paint on it. If I'm looking over at the computer, I can look out the other side with the other eye and get the computer, because looking through that thing is crazy. You can't put paint on your brush for that.
Nice.
There's a very specific focal point, obviously.
Yep. No, that makes a lot of sense. Let me just quick finish this up here, right here, buddy, and then we'll get over to the. I'm pretty happy. I like how the golds have turned out. I have a fair bit more to. Oops, I missed a spot. Missed a couple spots. Holy shit balls.
Oh yeah, Talkazar, you'll find it does help. The hard part will be once you start using it, it's hard to paint. I can paint base coats on big areas without it, but if I'm getting the details, I can't even. I have to put it on to use them now. My eyes are like, what are you trying to do? Get that fucking thing on.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No, hey, it's a tool. It's like anything.
Yeah.
Ain't no shame in using tools.
No, absolutely not.
Would you get after a carpenter for oh, look, he's such a he's cheating. He's using a hammer.
Yeah.
He should be driving that in with his head. Should be driving that in with his
He's using
cheek.
his head. He went and got the hammer.
Oh my God! Exactly. See, now you're cooking. Now you're playing with power. All right. So I think that we are in a pretty good spot here for us to call it.
I've embraced the fact that I am old and things aren't working the way necessarily they did to start. Also, John, here's another one to double down on oldness. This is just a magnifier with a light.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put it on text or something, or those tiny ass fucking cards that some games come with, or those cards with tiny ass symbols that some games come with, so you can see what the hell they say when you're in not perfect light, because not everyone's perfect light. That's the reality.
Fantastic.
Sometimes it's going to be less than perfect light, and that'll help. I'm going to throw out my bag with my Marvel Crisis Protocol, because some of the symbols on those, I'm like, I think I know what symbol it is, but I can't tell 100%.
Well, I tell you, John, I have to tell you, this little bit of painting here and shooting shit with you has really helped my attitude. I was in a tough spot earlier today, and now I'm in a better spot.
Yeah, it helps a lot, guys. And I say this every time I'm on. If you guys are feeling it and you need to talk to somebody, need to hobby with somebody, hit me up on Facebook or whatever. We'll arrange a time, and I'll hobby with you, man. I'll take some time out to hobby with you and make sure you've got some interaction while you're hobbying. It'll be great.
There we go, kids.
I'm willing to do that for everyone because it'll help you so much.
Yep. We continue to be and always shall be your Wednesday night extravaganza for positivity.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're going to hang up the blue glove of love. He has served us with great aplomb this evening. I'm going to put my glasses back on.
A plum. I need a plum right now. Plum's tasty.
A plum would be fucking tasty. If someone wants to send me a plum, they could send me a plum.
The only thing we have in the house like that is the roomie made cherry crumble, but we're not going to eat it tonight. Oh. We're saving it tomorrow night because I'm going to stop on the way home after work for my 4-day weekend and get vanilla ice cream, and we're going to have that together, and that's going to be fucking awesome.
There you go. And Telkazar mentions I have a lighting problem and astigmatism, so it was right up the alley for what I was looking for. Boom. Have either of us watched the Knights of Badassdom? No, I have not.
I want to say I did watch one of them. Hold on 1 second here. Let me see if that's what it is. There's a lot of.
It's a movie. It's got Peter Dinklage in it.
Oh, I have not. No. Okay.
It's about some cosplayers and some stuff happens. I have not watched it. Perhaps that would be something we could watch at some point in the future. Yeah,
let us know if it's free anywhere because
we like free.
And make sure you check. We like free because I was going to go watch. This ruined my whole schedule. I was going to watch The Man from U.N.C.L.E. because someone mentioned it was free on Netflix. I'm like, awesome. I want to see the remake movie and see how it goes. Mm-hmm. But apparently that person is in the UK.
Oh.
So it's on Netflix in the UK.
Oh, not the same animal.
Not Netflix in the US, and I was a little sad.
Well, folks, you understand the fact that it is now after 8 o'clock, and that means that it's time for the media section, brought to you tonight by Applejack and other things, and Apple Whiskey.
Oh, do you know what else I'm drinking? Do you know what's in this cup?
Kraken and orange juice?
Goddamn right.
Fuck yeah. Hey, Ron. So, John, you should be on another season, at least some new season, some season 2 action of the Clone Wars.
Only barely because I took a week off.
Okay. Well, why don't you lead off with your entertainment choices for this media section?
Well, I am 3 episodes into Clone Wars season 2. I just started Monday.
Okay.
Watching one a day, at least. That's my goal. And the first episode was kind of mediocre. Mm-hmm. And then the second episode, they do that stupid shit where they skip a whole portion of the story and just recap it in the beginning and then jump into where they want to. It really is fucking terrible when they do that. We want to see this stuff. We want to actually experience it. Just highlighting it through a particular part is a giant. It's basically a giant sign of terrible writing. Like, we don't know how to get the point A to B. Let's get the point B and then just sort of make up some shit that happened between. But so after episode 2, I was like, man, fuck, is not getting much better.
Yeah.
But then episode 3 picked up right at the end and was actually much better. I was very pleased at episode 3. I am
Good.
on the high. I'm like, okay, this has shown some improvement. If they keep up this par, it'll be good. It'll be
Good.
watchable.
Good. I'm
But
sorry it's taking this long to get there, though.
yeah, I know. But I mean, it is what it is. Like you said, they started off for kids. You can tell they see what their errors are and they're trying to fix them.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's not all their choice.
No.
It shows Dave Filoni as the in charge of it, but he can't be fully in charge. There's got to be other people telling him what it needs to be.
Yeah. Yep.
Only recently has he gotten the power, so to speak.
Yeah. I really think it's going to continue along, and you're going to really enjoy it, John. I really do feel like at the end of the day, you're going to be like, hot damn.
Yeah, I've heard people talk about what's happening in vague terms, and it sounds great.
Yep.
So I'm definitely committed to watching it all. It just might take a little while to get to a point where I want to watch more than an episode a day.
Yeah. Cool.
But also, I want to chat real quick. We're talking Star Wars to finish up Star Wars talk. There's a video going around of Dave Filoni talking about the prequel movies, and he talks about the duel between Qui-Gon and Darth Maul as the most important moment in Star Wars history. And you listen to him explain it, I'm like, God damn, would that not have been great if Lucas had put some of that text in the movie? Because if it was subtext, it was super sub. It was like sub-basement level 42 text.
I watched I think we must have watched the same video because I did see the same thing. I do need to go back and watch that gallery series that they're talking about where they're going behind the scenes with Dave Filoni, because I think I really, and Tiki Waititi was in there, and I didn't recognize everyone that was around the table, but it looks like it's going to be really good.
And that particular clip is awesome because it takes it, and once you see that, you're like, you're not going to look at that fight the same way ever again.
No.
And God, like I said, if you wanna talk about an alternate history where someone had put that actual text in there, it would have been, if they made it clear or anything at any point during, that would have been a fuck of a thing. That would have been changed the level of it. It would have raised up the entire trilogy.
There are times when you do need some exposition, and had there been a little exposition about Qui-Gon and his role in the Jedi and where the Jedi had kind of lost their way, it would have been an entirely different. It could have been an entirely different experience.
Yeah, it could have changed the entire way of it because you don't get the idea that the Jedi are so full of themselves and so stagnant that they can't tell Darth Sidious is there. It's there, but it's so far buried as subtext, and unfortunately, parts of the movie are distracting enough. You don't have a chance to get there. No one wants to dive deep into a movie that's mediocre.
Yeah.
It's got some terrible scenes. It's got some great scenes, all of them. Let's not lie. Even just the two I've rewatched recently. Some great scenes, some terrible scenes, and you just don't want to dive into parts of it. It doesn't entice you to dive into it.
Yep.
And then you hear Dave Filoni talk about it, you're like, man, Dave Filoni, why are you not in charge of all of it yet?
Yeah,
because you should.
And he should be. He really should be.
Yes.
So I mean, so that's good. I'm happy things are starting to pick up a little bit for you. I'm going to change to a different for my section here. I'm going to change to a different space sci-fi franchise of lore, and that is Discovery, Star Trek Discovery. We finished up season 1 and started watching season 2, and I first experienced season 1 back when I was working on the Milano roastery, because in Europe there is no CBS Online. Netflix has all the properties, and so I got to watch it, and I really felt like after when I had watched it the first time, I had felt like it had too much Deus Ex. It stagnated halfway through it, and then I watched it the second time, and I liked it a lot more the second time than I liked it the first time. Go ahead.
People have described it as you had, and then I was like expecting that, and then I get through and I'm like, this is not bad. This is like maybe 2 steps darker than Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek, but they're fucking trying.
Yeah, I really do like it from the standpoint that it's a nice, this so far at least, and I'm only like maybe 2 or 3 4 into season 2. It is a
Oh,
nice blending of idealistic Star Trek and dark Star Trek.
yes, it is. It is. I think the two seasons combined are Star Trek's final form. This is what you should be shooting for.
Yeah.
Season two, especially. Season two is so much better. I mean, I have to ask you, how much do you love Pike?
Oh my God, he's so good.
Is
He's
uh,
on the list. He is right there for best captain in Star Trek history.
I mean, he can't beat Picard. It's hard to beat Picard, but he kicked Kirk to the curb. I'm like, sorry, Kirk,
Oh
you're
yeah.
cool and all that, but I'm Pike, and fucking A.
Oh yeah,
He's
I mean,
inspiring. He's never
he's
corny.
he's
He
funny.
Anson Mount says everything with so much seriousness. He just delivers it.
He's genuinely
great.
funny. He's not corny. He's genuinely he's dry. He's droll. He's the right kind of comedy at the right time, and just a little, just a touch, and
Just a touch.
it makes him real, and
And they start giving all the bridge crew names and roles. Like you're suddenly like, I'll be honest, if they'd made the bridge crew more into it in season one would have been what?
yeah.
But now you start knowing all these people are, you're like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, no, it's really
man,
really good. It's really good. It's really good Star Trek. I'm
gonna say this out loud and don't hold it against me. If you put a gun to my head, I might say Discovery season 2 is better than Picard.
I can see why it's I can see why it's vying for it. The what I've seen so far is right now I think Picard still gets a bit of a nod from me, and maybe as this goes on, my opinion will change. I think that there's more deep questions asked in Picard than I've seen asked so far. There's a better.
Fair enough.
I think there's a better adventure to be had in Discovery, but I don't know that it will be as cerebral as Picard was.
Fair, but you'll see. I don't.
No. I reserve the right to get. I reserve the right to get smarter as I watch more of the show.
I'll be honest. Picard and Discovery, CBS All Access is worth the money for as long as it takes you to watch those. It's worth the money, hands down.
Yeah, no. So I'm really enjoying it, and so Belinda and I are continuing. We'll watch more tomorrow. The kids want to watch Clone Wars also, because they're rewatching it, and Belinda's never seen it. So we're plowing our way through it like 3-4 episodes at a sitting, and so we're getting there. But yeah, so it says Pierce Jordan says problem with Picard is that the world that should still be kissing his ass is crapped on the head consistently for dumb reasons. Yeah.
But isn't that the way the world goes? Unfortunately, sometimes it's kind of realistic. But man, I do like Picard a lot. Don't think I'm disparaging Picard. I'm more of telling people that Discovery is better than they think. If someone gave you a bad opinion of Discovery, season 1 may not be great Star Trek, but it's solid to good Star Trek,
really
and it is great sci-fi.
Yeah, it's a good adventure. It really is. It's a good adventure.
Yeah, and Pierce Turner brings up the good point. It's not Roddenberry's world. You're absolutely correct, and that's unfortunately the reality is we're not at the point where Roddenberry's world's going to work anymore. It's a little too simplistic for the way the world is now. You know, there's too many good sci-fi worlds that have that morality because he was being so positive with Star Trek that it was all black and white, good guys, bad guys, Starfleet good, other people bad guys. You can't have that anymore. We all require more in-depth story.
Yeah, more shades of gray.
And you'll say, I think they said it in episode 1 of Discovery season 2, where they sent the Enterprise away because they are the best of Starfleet and they have to survive because they are the best. There's the Starfleet's, so they're still calling out. They still know they're not quite getting into Gene Roddenberry's world. It's Gene Roddenberry's view with the reality that some of this shit's going to happen and how would they deal with it. And I like a lot of that. Yeah. And I think it's the final. I think Discovery season 2 and Picard are the final form of Star Trek. They need to keep going with that. And actually, John, my next point was bring up Strange New World, which is the next Star Trek series with the Enterprise and Pike and Spock and Number One.
Interesting. So,
I'm in.
Strange.
Or
It's
Pike.
called Strange
Fuck
New
yeah.
World.
Yeah, Strange New Worlds, I think it is.
Interesting. And so Pike's getting his own spin-off show, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he brought it. Did he not bring it?
Oh,
You're only 4 episodes in, and he brought it.
no, he's magic. He's fantastic. He is so good.
Absolutely.
He has got so much charisma.
Absolutely.
I don't know the actor terribly well that plays him, but he nails it right. I mean, from the second he walks on the bridge for the first time, he owns the entire series. He just owns it.
Yeah. It's one of those things where sometimes people, bring their A game and just find that role that's perfect. You get oh god, what's his name? The guy who plays Gibbs in NCIS. He absolutely he owns that role.
Yeah.
And it's perfect for him, so you don't leave. He owns this role.
Yeah.
And honestly, he's been in a bunch of stuff, but not like a ton of big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing he was in was the Inhumans TV series as Black Bolt, which seems to make Anson Mount, someone who doesn't ever talk, a fucking mistake.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. There you go, folks. Discovery.
Yeah.
Watch it. It's worth
Yeah.
spending the bucks. And remember,
Yeah.
kids at home, get the no commercials version.
Oh God, yeah.
And
Please, God.
it's really, really good. And there's surprisingly interesting and good programming elsewhere on that channel. It's better than you think. It really is.
I mean, the aforementioned NCIS. If you like NCIS and you haven't watched all 72 seasons of it, joking slightly, it's all there. And NCIS is a hoot. Also, I love NCIS. It is one of my favorite TV shows.
Wasn't NCIS a spin-off of JAG?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Man, I'll tell you what.
And somehow it became more. I mean, it became more popular than JAG, and JAG was a popular show. My stepfather, rest his soul, watched JAG a lot and apparently loved the crap of it. And I'm just a little upset he didn't get to watch a ton of NCIS because he would have loved it.
I forget what the name
Gibbs
of the lady was that was in JAG, but man, I could watch her all goddamn day.
Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of JAG. I didn't really come in until NCIS, and we came in late, and then went back and watched from the beginning. And there's a lot of good series there. I mean, it's a little overpriced overall, but if they keep putting out quality Star Trek shows like Picard and Discovery, it's fucking worth the money.
Yeah,
it may not be worth the money every month, but you'll get it. You'll watch it for a couple months, get through them, and then maybe you cancel it and come back later.
Yeah.
Or like me, I'll keep it on and make sure John comes get it, and we'll watch some other stuff on it.
Yep. Well, guys, John, I don't know if I don't necessarily have another show to talk about.
I don't really either because I didn't watch any extra movies. It was I may have been focused on PwMJ.online, but I do actually want to talk about one other thing.
Yeah, sure. Shoot.
That I saw coming out. HBO Max is gonna get the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Oh no shit! Really?
Yeah.
I'll have my people
They've
call
been crying for it, so they're gonna get it.
Do you have the HBO Max?
I do not.
Oh well, we'll have our people call your people, and we'll do lunch. You don't worry about that, buddy.
Oh.
Well,
I appreciate that.
No, we're good. We're good. We got this.
Because I mentioned on Facebook or on Twitter when I saw that, I'm like, I am interested to see this because I want to see what his vision was for it.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, I am one of the fans of Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a knock it out of the park. If you're doing baseball analogies, they got to run bat it in. One RBI for that boy.
Yeah.
It was fine. That's what they needed. And it's just that it wasn't enough for the bigwigs, so that they changed all the plans.
Yep.
I mean, you can tell it was two directors. Part of it's a little dark. Part of it's very Joss Whedon, and I like Joss Whedon more than I like Snyder. But, I mean, it's not Snyder's fault. He has particular style. He's done solid stuff. But he is too much of what we call a moment director. He directs for these moments.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily earn those moments. And Joss Whedon's failing is that he's got so much into character, sometimes he goes so far that he doesn't even see what he's done, i.e. Avengers Age of Ultron, the whole Black Widow Hulk thing, where the Black Widow party didn't really think all the way through of her thinking she's a monster because she can't have babies. It was a real There's a real misstep that he doesn't usually make.
Yeah.
But that can happen. I still love Age of Ultron. I think it's a great movie, and I love that, and I like a lot of what Snyder does. Honestly, Watchmen was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yep.
Again, Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice was not good.
Yeah.
But as I said, since I watched it twice for us, John, watched the extended edition. It is legitimately better.
Okay. Cool.
And I don't always say that. It's not like, oh, some people find it better. No, just better.
Good. Well, there you go. Strictly better is good. So.
Yep. So we're getting all that stuff the geek community's been crying for. So maybe we'll get Solo too.
Man, I'll tell you what. That needs. I liked Solo, and I never understood the hate, but.
Well, the hate was all because of the vocal minority who disliked The Last Jedi a ton, who made a petition to have it redone because they didn't like it, and they just boycotted and shitmouthed it. And also, you shouldn't have gone back from your slot. Your slot is near Christmas. Keep your movies near Christmas. You don't need to move it forward to the summer. Keep your movie where it is.
Yeah. Yep.
It's fine. Instead of a Star Wars movie competing with Christmas Fair, and most people on Christmas are not going to fuck with Star Wars, much like the Wu-Tang Clan. They're nothing to fuck with.
No, they ain't nothing to fuck with.
Yeah. In summer, though, they're like, oh, we got our big hitters, you got your big hitter, let's go.
Yeah. When are we getting Mandalorian season 2?
Late this year, assuming it's not delayed because of the COVID.
Because of the COVID? Yeah. Boy, I'm super excited.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, God, the Mandalorian was good. It was very good.
And now we got Ahsoka Tano coming. We got Boba Fett. We're gonna. The fan service is thick as.
Well, the fan service is high, but they do such a good job with it.
I know.
It never feels so. So talk about fan service. There's the scene in Rogue One, the Darth Vader scene. It is awesome. Don't ever think I'm not going to say it's awesome. It is entirely unnecessary for the movie.
Yep.
Doesn't really forward the plot. It is literally fan service. It is the most fan service, and it's awesome. But I don't feel like it was done as well as they've done some of the stuff in The Mandalorian.
The only reason for that scene is to give a tight tie-in to Episode 4.
Yeah, and what it does is, honestly, I find that, and we'll see if that changes when I get through everything again, I find that the prequel trilogy made Darth Vader less scary.
Yeah, it humanized him.
Yeah, and then this made him scary again. To keep bringing it up, Darth Vader is like the Wu-Tang Clan.
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
Exactly.
And much unlike the Wu-Tang Clan, who is for the children. Darth Vader is not for the children.
Not for the children at
not
all.
For the children. No. Anakin Skywalker is not for the children.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so there you go. I mean, a lot of random thoughts there, Star Warsy. There's a lot there. Let's keep our positivity about Star Wars, guys. There's a lot of people out there shitting on certain movies. Let's not do that. I mean, even the prequels have an unfair reputation.
So, So I'm gonna tell you right now, folks, that you can go almost anywhere on the internet right now, and you won't find a painting podcast that mentions the Wu-Tang Clan near as much as this one.
No,
take that to the
not
bank.
at all.
You can take that to the bank, kids.
Blood Bank. Oh, sorry, Steven Seagal. Sorry.
All right.
Every time.
And on that note, we're gonna transition to the face cam so that we can say goodbye, because that's what we like to do on this show. And I'm going to put on the music so that we can get a copyright claim.
We don't like to say goodbye, but it is required to say goodbye because, I mean, John's got stuff to do. I got stuff to do. We can give you a lot of time, but you guys will get sick of us eventually anyways.
Yeah, and keep your eyes open for virtual John Con. It's going to happen. We're going to run it. We're going to run the Saturday version of it like an all-day podcast. Underwear might get on my head by the end of it. We'll see if I remember anything after 5 p.m. We'll see. We're going to be doing an RPG. We're going to be doing lots of things.
Maybe 2 RPGs.
Maybe 2.
More on that later.
We'll do more on that later. So there you go, folks. Hey, on behalf of the, are we getting music into the stream? I just want to kind of wonder about that. Can you listen to that for a second, John? Are we getting the music? I'm always interested.
Yes.
Okay, good. Hey, there you go. This is fantastic. By God, after all these, we've been doing this show now again for what? Going on 6 months?
Oh, yeah.
6-8 months? Got our shit together finally. So on behalf of the mighty right hand of the podcast, Mr. John Spencer, of course, I'm Menoth John. I have every intention on being here next Wednesday. So y'all have a good one, and hopefully there'll be a Sue next year, Talcazar. That'd be nice. And we'll see you next time on Painting with Menoth John. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Box of hammers.
Oh,
Love that way of saying things.
that's so tasty.